But yeah, today we're going to be talking about the 10 limbs of yoga. Now, it's not really something that I'm wanting to substitute for what Patanjali was saying, but I'm just finding through practice that it is more and more appropriate to look at the additional um, limbs of yoga that I'm going to talk about today. They're actually a little bit different overall, actually. They start with yama, which is obviously the moral discipline. Then we have niyama, which is the self-discipline, so such as looking after your own cleanliness and so on and so forth. Then we have asana. Now, asana here is in preparation for breath work, which we're going to go on to in a minute. So asana is a prerequisite for the breath work. Breath work comes next, and the breath work here is a doing. It is a controlling of the breath in order to move to the next aspect of the 10 limbs of yoga, and that is a neurogenic release, so an autonomic nervous system release. So the organs can relax, diaphragm can relax, the muscular habits and tensions can relax, motor cortex, sensory cortex can talk to each other with a little bit more harmony, more like gaps in between the notes on a music sheet rather than constantly notes, 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 which leads to a motor cortex sort of madness, really. And then after the neurogenic release, we go on to pranayama. This is pranayama. So this is no control of the breath, no control of the potency of the body, no control of the energy and vitality of the body, feeling it, getting a sense of its reality. This, if it really is truly pranayama, no control, then it will open the doors, literally open the gates to another way of perceiving the body. You're reappraising the physiology through pranayama. So pranayama is also equivalent to anapana. So anapana is no control of the breath, just noticing the breath as it is. As well as this, noticing the retentions of the breath, not retentions, the no holding of the breath, just the natural cessation of the breath. Natural cessation of the breath is kevala kumbhaka. In Sanskrit, this is the word which means no more breathing, but not through any force, but through literally involuntarily, spontaneously ceasing to breathe. Kevala kumbhaka. This is pranayama. Anapana, kevala kumbhaka is pranayama. Anapana is a Pali term for the natural breathing and noticing of it. Kevala kumbhaka is a Sanskrit term to talk about the cessation of the breath. And then after this, the enabling is kind of like there's nothing comparable. This opens up then to pratyahara, which is the internalization, and dharana. So pratyahara is dharana. There is a concentration ability which isn't willed upon, it isn't forced, it isn't coerced. It is just there naturally. This is then leading on to the next limb, which is vipassana. To me, it is vipassana. It is an enabling of the insight of arising and passing within your own physiology. You're noticing especially the passing quality of your own physiology, the impermanent quality of your own physiology. And of course, the mind, which is even more subtle. And then this leads to Vipassana jhana, which is a deep concentration of the three characteristics of being: impermanence, dukkha, suffering, or dissatisfactoriness perhaps, and then no I, no individual permanent self. And then that would open up to the last limb, 10th limb, which is nibbana. This is a Pali term. In Sanskrit it would be nirvana. Nibbana is possibly understood through more of the requisites that I just talked about. Now, just to elaborate here, that there's no teaching in a way, certainly not from myself, beyond um, the end of neurogenic release. There's no teaching really going on, or maybe pranayama. Really, there's no teaching beyond that, not from me. The teaching then is you'll need a particular environment, a particular discipline, a particular schedule, and some of the Vipassana um, environments, setups, especially run under the guise of Siaji Ubakin, Goenka Ji, and those two particular individuals would be very useful to get an understanding of beyond that. For me to be able to teach something like this via this medium, I can't. I just can't do it. So pranayama is as far as it goes. In equivalence, this would be anapana and kevala kumbhaka. And really, that just takes over automatically anyway. So really, teaching up as far as the neurogenic release. However, this particular sharing is going to be sharing the breathwork component, which is possibly the the the, the biggest jump to being able to appreciate what all of these limbs are really about. Coming into the sense of your own body, the sense of the changing nature of your body, the vitality that you get when there is some form of concentration, probably would be the best word here. Okay, so that's the rundown, and then from here we'll go on to some breath work. I'll talk to you in a bit.